breakage. Now this may be considered if someone uses heat on their hair and want to revert the curls back. So if that is the case, make sure you cleanse your hair once a week and follow with a deep conditioner to the hair strands so that they don't become dehydrated. Some examples of these non-soluble silicones I will leave at the description box where the link is. I'm going to end this mini video and I'm going to start with the next video. I'm back. So I'm going to finish up where I left off from my previous video. We were talking about silicones. Now, we're going to talk about water silicones. Water-soluble silicones. They can be penetrated by water and dissolved, which makes them easier to deal with. They don't cause buildup, and they enhance moisturizing properties and allow it to penetrate in the hair strands. It also helps to reduce frizz. There are good silicones if you use the curly girl method or co-wash regularly, or if you're prone to dry hair. Again, examples of those water-soluble silicones will be in her article. So now, off to humectants. A lot of people have been talking about that, and I kept seeing people talk about humectants and how it's just, they don't like it during the summer, or it just causes a lot of frizz, and I'm just like, what in the world is a humectant? Like, let me find out what this is about. So, the article that I read, it says that if the humidity is high and you're using a product that has a humectant in it, it'll absorb the moisture in the air and cause frizz and lack of definition. And when humidity is low, like when the air is cold or dry, there isn't enough water in the air for the humectants to absorb. So this will minimize frizz, but the backfire is that it can turn and remove the water in your hair shaft, which results to dryness. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. You have to be careful. But have no fear. If that's the case, it's important to use a sealant like shea butter when using humectants, such as vegetable glycerin, to help lock in moisture and prevent dryness. Some of these are very familiar in the products we use, and to be on the lookout and to know how to assess based off of what your hair needs, based off of the weather outside, and just knowing what's going to work best for your hair. And lastly, alcohols. That's very important too. I read an article from Essence that Mahogany Curls had wrote, and it mentioned how not all alcohols are harmful. It really varies on what kind of alcohol is in the product. So some can be very drying, such as isopropyl. I don't know how to pronounce it. I obviously need to go back to school. But she mentioned that that's a very harsh alcohol. This is usually found in sprays and gels, and constant use can leave the hair to be dry, frizzy, and dull. Now, some other alcohols can provide moisture and manageability, such as cisterol and I'm going to leave those in the article for you guys to see physically. It's in a lot of products. It's spelled CETYL, CETEERYL. These are known as fatty alcohols. They're known as emollients that soften the hair and also provide slip. So all of that information is going to be in the link below to explain to you more in detail as far as certain ingredients to look out for when you're purchasing products. For me, I used to just grab whatever was there, or if it said natural, I'm like, yeah, I need to use that, it's for natural hair. Or if a label said that there were certain ingredients in it, but never really looking at the ingredients to see if it's in there. It's a struggle. A lot of it is trial and error. A lot of it requires money. A lot of it requires investment and time. But just with anything, if we care about it enough, which we should care about our hair, you want to take the time to know what to look for. The more natural it is, the better. And even though it's natural, doesn't mean it's going to work for your hair too. So again, knowing what works for your hair. Some people can tolerate coconut oil, some people can't. You know, there's certain things that varies to texture and weather too. You know, also I found that I lived in Florida briefly, and my hair, even though it may have been frizzy or just absorbed all that air or that humidity. My hair loved it though. My hair was shiny, my hair was healthy. So as soon as I came back to Jersey, it was a whole nother story. Like the air, the pollution, there's a lot of stuff that's in the air that can really take a toll on not only our bodies but our hair too. So those are things to kind of keep in mind. Also, just to wrap this up, porosity. I know that a lot of people have asked me or wonder what porosity their hair is. That's really important too, so that you know what your hair needs and how it's going to absorb products and ingredients. So there is, I believe, on Shea Moisture, like a test you can take to find out what your porosity is, and then also the good old test where you take a strand of hair and put it into water. And I tried that with my hair, and my hair floated to the top. And I'm just like, I didn't want to believe because my hair was so thick. I'm like, I don't got low porosity hair. But it made a lot of sense once I did research and figuring out, okay, what products are actually working for me, or what do I need to adjust with my hair regimen so that I can retain the moisture and hydration in my hair. So with low porous hair, it means that the cuticle is shut off. So whenever I do use products, it'll sit on top of my hair. Or when I wash my hair, the water literally rolls right off. Like it doesn't get into the strands of my hair. I found another awesome article from actually Eden Body Works. They actually posted it not too long ago, where Kinks Curls and Coils, she wrote about porosity, which I'll leave. I couldn't find the link. But if you are on Instagram, if you go on Eden Body Works page, it's in their bio with the link that talks about porosity, which is really, really important to learn. And once you combine all these elements together, then you'll kind of figure out, okay, this is what works for me, that's what doesn't work for me. There was another important gem that I actually found out too. I'm going to share this briefly. Hopefully I'm not going over 10 minutes, but just for the sake of that, I'm going to start a new video.